guys, before we start this video, I just wanted to acknowledge that we are all currently being affected by the COVID-19 virus, and by continuing to upload videos unrelated to this and unrelated to what's going on in the world currently, I'm not trying to be insensitive in any way. I'm just trying to keep everything as normal as I can for you guys, and if you're feeling anxious, I hope my videos can serve as some sort of distraction. Also, I'm just wanting to give love to those who have been affected by it, and those who are currently quarantined or have lost a loved one to COVID-19. My heart seriously goes out to you. So please, please, please stay safe, wash your hands, practice social distancing. Hey, let's all hang out on my channel together. I'll be here a lot in the coming weeks, I can assure you. I love you guys. Now let's get into today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl, Dutchy. Goodness me. Wow, that was wild. In today's video, I thought I would sit down and take you through how to figure out your sexuality. And let me tell you, this is a highly requested video, so you're welcome. I get a lot of DMs and comments from you guys asking, okay, but how do I figure out my sexuality? How do I know I'm gay? How do I know I'm pan? And I also get a lot of you asking me to explain all the different types of sexuality. So that is what this video is mainly going to be about. A little bit of a story time on how I figured out my own, but also mainly just tips on how to figure out your sexuality. I'm also going to be educating you guys on all the sexualities that I was able to find on the internet, describe them and describe how you may be feeling if you do fall into one of those sexualities. But I also want to put a little disclaimer here before I get into the video on labels. Labels are in no way, shape or form mandatory. A lot of people comfortable within their sexualities are just living their lives without a label. And yeah, as I said, they're not mandatory. You do not need to label yourself ever. But for the purposes of today's video, I will be describing some sexualities or their labels and matching them with their definitions to help you try and associate some of the thoughts and feelings that you might be having with a possible sexuality. Now, this does not mean that if you do by chance find yourself associating your thoughts and feelings with a particular sexuality that I name or talk about, that you need to take that label and stick it to your forehead. Hi, I'm bi. I'm just simply hoping it might provide some comfort and affirmation to how you've been feeling, because I can assure you the thoughts and feelings that you're currently experiencing have definitely been felt by others. You are not alone. You are never alone. We are one big LGBTQ+ fam of lovin'. Okay, now with all of that being said, let's get on into the video. Okay, first things first, I thought I would start off this video by saying questioning your sexuality, totally normal. It is totally normal to be questioning your sexuality. I also thought it was important to acknowledge that figuring out your sexuality is a completely different experience for everyone. I know for a fact my coming out story is completely different to all of my other queer friends who have come out. We all experience things differently and experience different emotions at different times. So try your best not to compare your coming out experience with other people's coming out experiences. And don't expect it to be like someone else's, because everyone's coming out journey is entirely different. When it comes to figuring out your sexuality, it can be stressful. Woo, Nelly, I get it. I spent months stressing over what I was and who I was attracted to, when really I should have just been living. And while I was having a great time experimenting and having fun, there was just always that, what am I? And who am I really attracted to at the back of my head, like constantly. You know? I think that society plays a massive role in placing a lot of pressure behind labels and the need to label yourself and label your sexuality or gender identity. And I myself definitely fell into that trap. When I eventually labeled myself as bisexual and came out as bisexual, I felt an immense amount of relief. But why? Like, why did I feel the need to put myself in a box? Why did I feel the need to come out as anything other than heterosexual? Like, why is that the norm? And I only find myself asking these questions now, 3 years later, because I've learned a lot from myself and about myself in the past 3 years. And while, yes, I still identify with the term bisexual, as I've only ever been attracted to or dated cisgender males and cisgendered females, and yes, hold up, don't come at me. I am aware that bisexuals can be attracted to humans outside of that definition. However, that's just the definition that fits me and my attraction. I guess I've come to realize in those 3 years that I am more drawn to people's vibe and personality than anything else. To me, physical features are just a bonus at this point. But if I'm seeing someone and I am absolutely digging their personality, their hobbies, their likes and dislikes, their mad skills, then damn! Break me off a piece of that. You know what I mean? Okay, so as most of you probably know, sexuality is super complex and on a spectrum. And there are definitely some sexualities that are spoken about far more often than others. So I thought I would do some research and take some time to explain as many sexualities as I could find on the internet. And if I do leave one out, please, please, please educate me. Comment down the sexuality and its definition, I suppose loosely termed, in the comments below. I would love to learn. I learned a few new sexualities in the list that I'm about to explain too. So yes, okay, let's dive into it. And directly after I've explained these sexualities, I'm going to be diving straight into how to figure out your sexuality, some hints and tips that I have that really helped me, and yeah. I'm gonna sit down here so I can put the definition up there. Okay, number one, we have bisexuality, which is an attraction to your own and other genders. They also incorporated a part of the definition to incorporate non-binary genders as well, because bi doesn't necessarily mean cisgendered males, cisgendered females. It's completely subjective to the individual. Then we have bicurious, someone who is exploring whether or not they're attracted to people of the same gender as well as people of another gender. Then we have homosexuality, which is when you are attracted to your own gender, gay men attracted to other men, lesbians attracted to other women. Now we have queer. Now this one's an interesting one. It's an adjective used by some whose sexual orientation is not exclusively heterosexual. Sometimes for those who only identify as queer, the terms lesbian, gay, and bisexual are too limiting or fraught with cultural connotations that they feel don't apply to them. So you will hear from time to time people just calling themselves queer. Fluid. This term refers to the fact that sexuality, sexual attraction, and sexual behavior can change over time dependent on the situation. It's also used to describe those who experience shifts in their sexuality, sexual attraction, or sexual behavior in different situations throughout the course of their lifetime. And you'll likely hear people say, my sexuality is fluid. That's a very, very common thing for people to say. And yeah, it's true. Pansexuality is an attraction to all genders. Some don't care about gender when it comes to attraction, though not all agree, and this can be used interchangeably with bisexuality. Polysexuality is when someone is attracted to two or more genders. Pansexuality and bisexuality are types of polysexuality, although not all people who are poly use these terms. Then we have asexuality, someone who does not experience sexual attraction to any gender. This does not mean people who are asexual do not seek out relationships, as they can still be romantically attracted to people. They just don't have that sexual attraction. We have aromantic, someone who does not experience romantic attraction. Someone who is aromantic may still experience sexual desire with someone, they just don't feel that romantic attraction. Then we have demi-romantic, someone who does not experience romantic attraction until a strong emotional or sexual connection is formed with a partner. Then we have demisexuality, experience sexual attraction, but only after an emotional connection has been created. They wouldn't find a stranger on the street sexually appealing, but after they get to know someone well, the possibility of sexual attraction is there. Graysexual, someone who is grey asexual may rarely experience sexual attraction. They are still valid under the asexual umbrella, but may experience random sexual attraction. So most of the time, you're not feeling it, you're not like sexually attracted, you wouldn't want to have sex with someone, then every now and then something might spark you to be like, oh, maybe I could, but not often. Then we have androsexuality, someone who is attracted to a masculine gender presentation. Could be anyone of any gender, man, woman, or non-binary. So if you're just attracted to a masculine presentation of someone, doesn't matter to you if they are male, female, non-binary, you're attracted to it, which I get that. And then you have the opposite, which is gynosexuality, attracted to a feminine gender presentation, again, an individual of any gender, so just the opposite. So female presenting, doesn't matter who they are, they just look femme. Then we move on to polyamorous, which is when someone has consensual relationships involving multiple partners. Polyamorous people talk openly with their partners about having or having the desire to have sexual and or emotional relationships with multiple people. Polyamorous people can be in relationships with monogamous people too. Then we have sapiosexual, someone who experiences attraction based on intelligence rather than sex or gender. Yes, intelligence is hot. I get that a lot. Sex averse, someone who is averse to or extremely disinterested in sex or sexual behavior. And then last on my list I have skoliosexual, being primarily sexually, romantically, and or aesthetically attracted to genderqueer, transgender, and or non-binary people. Oof, so that was a lot. I learned a lot. I had no idea about skoliosexual, and I mean, of course that exists. As soon as I read the definition, I was like, oh, of course course that's a thing. But there you go, I never knew it did. Okay, so now that I've covered a range of different sexualities, their labels and their definitions, loosely termed, as I said, you do not ever have to label your sexuality, you may still be feeling confused. I mean, sure, I just read out a whole bunch of different sexualities and their definitions, and while you may find yourself leaning towards one or two, how do you know for sure? And I guess this is just something that we figure out in time, and I know this is super cliche, but time can really help reveal a lot of things about yourself. If you are confused about your sexuality, it's important to take time out for yourself. Light some candles, play some music, write down your feelings, and ask yourself the following questions. Do you have a crush on someone at the moment, or multiple crushes? Who are they? What is it that attracts you to them? Are you sexually attracted to them? Or romantically attracted to them? Or both? Or just one? Or none? Or do you have absolutely no interest in anyone and wonder why? And there's definitely specific questions you can be asking yourself of a particular sexuality. Such as, if you're questioning whether you're a lesbian or not, you might question whether you could see yourself going down on someone of the same gender. Can I see myself going on a date with someone of the same gender? However, within sexuality, people can have their own preferences too, which can make things a little bit tricky there. You can also ask things like, do you think you're being influenced by outside forces? Are you letting what your parents or friends think about queer people influence what you're thinking or feeling? I think the best way to figure out your sexuality is to isolate yourself and your thoughts and ask yourself, if no one was around to judge my sexuality at all, who would I be attracted to? And quite often, the answer will reveal itself to you then and there. And I think my most important point to make here is to never neglect or ignore or push your feelings aside or down or just away. If you do this, and if you push your feelings aside and try to act like they don't exist, trust me, they will find a way of coming out, and with force, and it will be so much worse than if you just had have accepted them and tried to work through it. As I've said throughout this video, your sexuality will have its own way of figuring itself out, and it will in time, I promise. So for now, live in the moment, talk to your crush regardless of their gender or sexual orientation, see how you feel, become in tune with your thoughts and feelings when you are talking to this person or thinking about this person, and most importantly, have fun. Live your life, and as cliche as it sounds, everything will fall into place. And of course, remember, you do not have to label yourself if you don't want to. Just love who you want to love or don't, have sex with who you want to have sex with or don't, and just enjoy life. Be the best version of yourself, and everything else will work itself out, I can assure you. Oh boy, that was a long one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video helped you in some way. Again, if there are any sexualities that I did not define, then please comment them down below. I'd love to learn some more, and then you can educate everyone else, I guess, at the same time. If you are struggling with your sexuality at the moment, I am here for you. Other than this video, I will provide as much advice as I can if you do ask me a question in the comments below. Let's all have a chat. Let's all build everyone else up, because heck, we definitely need it at this point in time. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next one. I love you guys so much. Mwah!